Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for coming here back for this course, which is about research methodology. And today we're going to talk about recording observations. So when you go to the site and you start to interact with your data collection area, which is the community or maybe even the data that you are going to analyze, the primary data that you are going to analyze, you have to record the observation in a specific way because it is linked to the systematic collection of the data, where we have to be careful about, again, the observation we are collecting and whether we are reflecting also a phenomena or a certain behavior. Now, this process will help us to understand the research studies, the assessments, and the evaluations that we need to gain for a deeper understanding of a particular issue or a phenomena. Now, observation involve also systematic and intentional monitoring of a subject or object or event. So recording also need to be taken through documentation. And when we do documentation, we can do it in many forms, either by writing, for example, in notes, or doing it through recording, audio or video, or doing a checklist and so on. The most important is that we need to inform the decision makers and develop interventions to improve the practices we have. Now, when we record the observation, we need again to do it effectively, which means that we need to ensure the objectivity, which is the degree to which we collect an observation free from bias or from personal opinion. And this means that we need to maintain this non-bias throughout the collection of data, regardless of how much challenges or we see sympathy with the data, with the object we are collecting, or the community we are collecting the data from. So, for example, even if we are collecting data about poverty, we need to define, for example, what type of poverty and whether they are priority in getting loans or not. The other issue is the reliability, which refers to the consistency of the observation made. So are we reliable, which means we are consistent every time, because always we say reliability is the probability of availability. The more we are consistent, the more we are reliable. So it is crucial to establish reliability when conducting observation and recording to ensure that the results can be replicated. Now, this means that validity also important, because based on objectivity and reliability, we should also ensure validity, which means the accuracy of the observation made. Okay, it is essential actually when we conduct observation, we record it in a proper way so that it is accurately represent the behavior and the phenomena being studied. Now, for that, we say always there are tools for recording observation. As we said, it might be through checklists, it might be through, again, scales. This is an example of a scale where, for example, we are measuring the nature of interaction within a specific group. So the level of participation, the rapport, the confidence, the aggressiveness, the withdrawalness, the friendliness, and aloofness. All of these we can take it from this scale, whether we go for negative side or positive side of the scale. So this is an example of good observation scale that can help us later when we analyze the data. We can get a lot of results from such a scale. So there are a summary of the process of observations steps. We can say that setting up observation environment involve creating the environment is conductive, and it should have appropriate lighting, equipment, and privacy as necessary. We should define the objectives of the observation. It is essential to establish clear objectives for the observation to ensure that the data collected is relevant to whatever we are targeting to study. We should select the observation method. For example, again, this method can be based on research question, behavior, or phenomena be studied, or available resources. We should record the observation, means that we should accurately and systematically record it using the chosen recording methods. And we should analyze the observation, which means the observation should be analyzed to identify the pattern or the relationships and to draw conclusions based on the data collected. So there are, again, methods for data collection, as we mentioned, like the interview. Interview is very important, especially if we want to set up a questionnaire, or we don't know, for example, the area we are studying, it is so large and want to downsize it. Interviews can help us to really define the problem statement in a proper way, or the objective of the study. So sometimes it can be structured or unstructured. A structured set of questions in the interview can help to get information, specific information. Now, interview can be defined as a meeting at which the interviewer asks somebody, which is the participant, questions to find out their opinion about specific purpose or a specific issue. So it is very useful, for example, for getting the story behind the participant experience. If we know that someone is expert in certain area that we're gonna study, the interview will be very good to go in depth of information around the topic. The interview also follow up certain respondents questionnaires. Usually, they are open-ended and they are asked in different ways. Before starting to design the interview question, the researcher should clearly articulate to himself or herself what problem or need is to be addressed, using the information to be gathered by the interviewees. So again, this is very important because from that we can structure our interview. And there are guidelines for conducting the interviews. For example, we should avoid loud lights or noises. We should ensure interviewees are comfortable in their seatings, are not stressed. We should explain the purpose of the interview. We should also note any terms of confidentiality. The interviewee, maybe he or she does not like to mention, for example, their name or their age or whatever. So this is important. We should explain the format of the interview to the interviewee so that they also follow the flow. And we should indicate how long the interview usually takes and how long it will take because some people are busy and sometimes they get bored. And also how they can get in touch with us as those who collecting this data or conducting this interview. And first of all, we should not depend on the memory to recall the answers. We should also ensure that when we take notes, the interviewee they know that we are taking notes that is not reflecting their opinion, but the notes that is based on the study or the areas we are focusing on the study. So they don't feel, again, afraid of the information they are giving. The example of the type of interview questions, for example, one can ask if they are asking about behavior, about, for example, what a person has done or doing. If it is about opinion, it's about what a person thinks about a topic. If it is about feelings, then they maybe ask sometime that I think. So that people, they don't feel we are directing them or controlling their feelings. If it is about knowledge, then we need to get facts about the topic. If it is about sensory, then we need to think about again that what type of people that they like to be touched or heard or tasted or smelled. What type of people they like? Sorry, what type of again things we can approach through these people, whether they for example, their experience in touching something or their experience in tasting something or hearing something or smelling something. And of course, we also need to think about what type of background or demographics they come or represent, such as age, education, etc. So again, the wording should be open-ended. Respondents should be able to choose their own terms when answering the questions for the interview. The question should be as neutral as possible. Avoid wording that might influence the answers. The question should be asked at one time. The question should be worded carefully, so that we should include, for example, that certain terms or programs that is known by the culture, not terms that need to be explained. We should be careful in asking why questions, because such type of questions build a cause and effect relationship, which might not be truly exist. These questions may also cause respondents to feel defensive, that they have to justify their response, which may inhibit their responses to this and future questions. There are steps in conducting the interviews. Occasionally, we need to verify the tape recorder. It used to be like this. Now you can record in our phone. There is no problem. But we need to always ensure that whatever recorded is really taken into the picture. We need also to ask one question at a time, not too many questions, and very simple short question, not complex. I mean, long statement or sentence. We need to remain as neutral as possible, and we encourage the responses. So this is important. We should also be careful about the appearance when taking the notes. For example, we should appear as professional, not someone that is not well dressed or something like this. We should provide a transition between major topics. So it means that, for example, you can explain that we've been talking about so and so topic, but now we'd like to move to another topic. So this is very important. And we of course we should not lose control of the interview. If the respondent start to talk about another topic, you try to bring him back or to bring her back to the main topic of your area or your study. I think very important that we can say here is that one of the things we do in certain communities is that we do interviews, because if we are going to study, for example, the paradigm of giving, the concept of giving within a community and how it works, and how we can improve it, we need to understand or interview the leaders of the community. We can also ensure that these leaders, we know their demographics or their background and the beneficiary background. We need to know the humanitarian support they're giving their community, and of course, whatever they have done relevant to complex issues like poverty elimination and so on. So this is an example of, let's say, a source that can help us to put up the questionnaire in a proper way. I think I'll stop here and continue with you tomorrow. Thank you.